Everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Christy here doing the monthly reading for the sign of Sagittarius. This is for January 2018. And yes, I really appreciate everyone who has stuck around and had patience with me while I got through Christmas and took a little break. I really needed that for my own mental health and for my health. So thank you. I hope you had a beautiful Christmas and New Year. So I am going to be doing a little bit of a different reading for you this month, and then we're going to continue in that fashion for probably the next few months at least. We're going to be answering a personal question today. So in addition to your monthly forecast for 2018 for January, I'm going to get you to come up with a question that has been sort of haunting you or you've been mulling about for a little while. Certainly if you can't think of one, don't stress about that. Once you see the cards and hear some of the words, maybe you'll be able to apply this to something that you haven't been able to articulate yet, and hopefully you find this helpful. So I'm using 6 cards for this question. So again, this is for your personal question, my dear Sagittarius. So what are you currently in the middle of? What's Sagittarius currently in the middle of? Your next question is, what is the energy affecting what you're currently in the middle of? What is the energy affecting what you're in the middle of? Now, if you've been around for a little while, you've probably noticed that I shuffle and draw cards. Well, I don't draw cards, I wait for them to jump. So I'm going to challenge myself a little bit as well as keeping things fresh for you. I'm just going to follow my intuition with the cards here, and I'm also not going to be reading from the bottom of the deck any longer, at least for the next foreseeable future. And it's one card jump only, or I will actually pull from the deck. So I'm hoping that you enjoy that style as well. Our next question is, what is the lesson for Sagittarius around this question? What's the lesson for Sagittarius around this question? What is the lesson for you, Sagittarius, around this question? And then we're going to qualify the card that came up. And there we have it. And the other ones go back. So yeah, this is kind of fun for me. I've been practicing a little bit on my own and with clients with some new reading styles. So I'm really digging it. Let me know what you think in the comments as always. Of course, if you do want your private reading, my details are in the description box below. Get a hold of me and we will set that up for you. So Sagittarius, what are you in the middle of, my dear? You are in the middle of a very creative project here. You have a co-create card with your bird on a wire. Technically speaking here, you have an owl on the wire. A lot of wisdom at play here, but you might feel as though you're pulled in 2 different directions, or you can't get out of your own way, or you can't make a head start here. For some reason, you could be waiting for something to come in, news to come in, or you could be pushing too hard here towards something, and you sort of need things to work out in its own time, sort of nature take its time here. But there could be an element of receptivity needing to be practiced as opposed to an action, which is a little bit of a surprise, to be honest, because we do have the moon moving out of Pisces this weekend and into Aries on the 22nd. So we have from dreamer to doer. But oddly enough, at least for the rest of the month, you're being asked to keep your co-creativity afloat. But maybe it's time to let something be drawn in as opposed to forcing something. Now, curiously enough, right below it is its brother card, or the masculine version of the yin. Yin and yang is here, and of course the second question is, what is affecting this? Just be assured here that you know when to apply your receptivity or your action here. There could be something within one area of your question, for example, where you have to take action, another area where you have to let go or let someone else take the lead. And that's really going to be your lesson this month, or at least in terms of what's affecting what's going on. Someone else might have to take the lead with a very specific theme with regarding your question, and in terms of what energy is affecting it. Again, there's a lot of aggressive, maybe masculine do as opposed to wait energy here. What's affecting what you're in the middle of? Having taken action. So yes, you're exploring something new here. You might even be designing something here. You've taken a lot of action. There's a lot of energy involved in your question in terms of what's affecting the creative project here. But again, here's a time, the current situation, what you're in the middle of, is waiting for replies, waiting for input, waiting maybe for something to turn up, waiting for the right answer to come, that type of thing, or just being receptive to input or to what others are doing and saying, or in taking your time with actually putting the project into action in favor of waiting till all the details are worked out. And then in terms of what is the lesson regarding this question, clean it up. I mean, it's really just saying this is a nice time to get rid of stuff that isn't working for you. It's a beautiful time of the year, frankly. January of any year is a really nice time to let go of the old. So clean it up. Get rid of the old stuff. Get rid of especially old egoic stuff that you sort of, I'm not singling you out. A lot of us do this. We wrap our ego up in our work. We wrap our ego up in our relationships, etc. Right? I mean, we put so much energy and time into it. They give us a sense of fulfillment, and we feel like it's, work and it's paying off and all that stuff. But there is something here that you can let go of that's going to be positive for you to see the end of. So if that's what's happening here, it's time to say good riddance. The lesson is to get rid of what's not working. Use your imagination to your benefit. Really tune in to how you feel when you start imagining these things, or imagining even a new world, because boy, do we need dreamers now more than ever. I know that sounds maybe counterintuitive in a way, and I just think it's curious here as well for you, Sagittarius, and I'm happy to see this, that you have yin and yang and the imagine card. So you have the receptivity, the action card, and the imagine card. So these are really highly energetic. So these two are just saying know when to bring something in, know when to take action. And this is really just saying in terms of what your lesson is with regard to this question is your imagination is your best friend. It's your biggest supporter. It's probably what's going to help bring this project into fruition. Really let your imagination run wild with this, especially if this is your project or you're co-creating this with somebody else. You can design this down to the detail, exactly how you want to see it, especially if it's something that you yourself would be interested in attending or experiencing. Put yourself in the attendee shoes and really find out, how would this benefit me if I were attending, and again, with the feedback stuff, it might be a really nice way of actually laying plans into foundation, is imagining how it would affect you, and this is a really nice way to determine how it's going to improve other people's lives. So that is answering your question. I hope that was helpful for you. Let's move on to your 6 cards for your January 2018 forecast. We're looking for one single card. General reading for Sagittarius. Lots of people, last 3 or 4 signs, getting the balance card. So a great deal of objectivity is desired from you, especially if you are co-creating and you're really close to something here. You're going to want to create a nice healthy balance here with your creation projects. Remember that there's a time to do and there's a time to receive. So the balancing act will be really important here with your project. Let's look for 2 more cards. What can Sagittarius look forward to as a forecast in January 2018? I'm actually super excited personally to be doing these types of readings for you and following my intuition with my cards here. So I'm excited for you. Let's read left to right and then up and down. Balance was your first card to come out. Again, you're probably not too shocked to hear that you do need to employ some balance here, especially around a creative project of your own. I just don't see any need to rush here. You may not feel in a rush anyway. You might be rushed or cajoled or pushed into something by someone that you're working with, for example, or one part or one phase is already complete. And there could be this sort of sensation or this implication that there's a rush, but there really isn't. Take your time here, create balance around this project. Here, the central card for you is spiritual growth. I think this is an element of a spiritual enlightenment for you, spiritual dedication, exploration. I don't see any fear here at all for you, or any even hesitation here. I think it's all really exciting for you, and I do think it's coming from a really beautiful, intentional place. So as opposed to, you know, looking for power over, or looking for even power from giving yourself a position or a construct here. I don't think that's why you're doing it at all. I think you're doing it in order to improve your own spiritual awareness. And you could be even doing work or creating projects here to improve other people's lives, including their spiritual awareness. And just delightful to see for you here, playfulness. You know, Sagittarius, this is your calling card. You're one of the most playful signs. Yes, you can be serious. You know when to be serious, when to be playful. You're the armchair philosopher. You're also the skeptic. So, I mean, in terms of spiritual growth and spiritual evolution, this is actually a really positive card to have. Believe it or not, I like to say that laughter is the language of the angels. So if anything gets too serious for you, or you feel overwhelmed, try to remember to stay playful here. Keep your feet on the ground, and move about at your own pace here. The second line here, we're looking at some more information for your general forecast for January 2018. We have, of course, camouflage. We have self-esteem, and then we have innocence. I actually love this card. I both love the porcupine and the hummingbird. They're my two favorite cards out of the whole deck. Joy is hummingbird, porcupine is innocence, just because these are lost so often in the adult world of planning and doing, and you know, we have to responsibility essentially. And what innocence is allowing us to do, or it's reminding us to do, is to come from a place of seeing something with fresh eyes, seeing something that's new to us, or being able to create something new, be able to go to these places of pure imagination and doing it from a sense of innocence, and not from a sense of power, or not from a sense of, in terms of power over, right? Control. And doing it from a sense of innocence. There's a great deal of strength here. So we do have camouflage. Again, with your general forecast, just be playful, stay fun. Try not to get bogged down in details, but just be aware of details. And again, as I said at the beginning there, just be aware that things are working out in a timely fashion, exactly as they're supposed to go. You don't want to rush anything here. You don't want to sit on your laurels either. You want to create a nice, healthy balance between the doing and the receiving. Self-esteem, of course, this is going to be affected, particularly this month for you. There's going to be a rise in self-esteem, not only through helping yourself through something and doing more creative projects that interest you and are beneficial to you, but also helping other people. This creates such an enormous self-respect and self-esteem. And other people in your life are going to benefit from this as well. So this is a beautiful thing to give to the world. And then here with porcupine, as I mentioned, this is the innocence card. This is doing things from a place of newness, from a place of totality, okay? This is anything time we're looking at joy and innocence and this type of thing, we're working from a very high vibration as opposed to lower vibrations. So high vibration would be love, joy, innocence, forgiveness, laughter, etc., playfulness, high vibration, as opposed to low vibration. Of course, we're looking at, you know, fear, doubt, escapism, etc., etc. You know the deal. Anything having to do with, you know, another way to frame it too is, what do we call it? Oh my goodness, I can't think of the word. When you are, holy smokes, help me out here, Sagittarius. Not sensitive to somebody else, you're jealous. Holy smokes, I couldn't think of that word. Jealousy is very low vibration. Keep that out of your world, even if that's part of your lexicon this month. Wow, that word really needed to jump out of my mouth and it was super stuck. So, okay, thank you for letting me walk through that. Let's go up and down with these cards together. This is just really another way to frame how these messages are going to appeal to you this month. So again, balance and camouflage. Again, we're looking at a sense of playfulness, not skipping around truth, not bearing truth or being difficult with truth. But certainly if you need to hold something close to your chest right now, especially with relation to a project, feel safe in doing that. As long as you're not flat out lying to anybody, keep something close to the cuff right now if you need to create that healthy camouflage. But remember to keep it on a balance, okay? You don't want to override someone else. You don't want to have that camouflage turn into an outright lie. Here with spiritual growth and self-esteem, I mean, these go in hand, frankly. I think you're going to benefit in a myriad of ways through your spiritual growth, even ways that you perhaps haven't even counted on yet. And playfulness and porcupine and innocence. How beautiful is this? These really do go hand in hand. You've got this sense of playfulness, joy, being excited about something, being able to use your imagination in a joyful, innocent way, without having to have the answers or know the answers or have a specific outcome. You're willing and able to go with the flow here, and to use your own strengths to your benefits without overriding someone else, because you're playful and you're innocent at the same time. So just beautiful to see. Again, not really shocked, to be honest, Sagittarius. You've got that Jupiter luck in your corner. You're ruled by Jupiter, so a great deal of expansion here, a great deal of positive energy. Looks like your spirituality is growing a great deal, and everyone, including you, is going to benefit from this. So that is your reading for the month. Tune in next week where I do your mid-month, technically, pick a card check-in, and then we will be meeting face-to-face shortly as I upload some interesting subjects that could be controversial. So I hope you stick around for those in the near future. Thanks again for being here with me. Take excellent care. Bye for now.